and Joey Kaufman on deck. Jared, you're up.
Thanks, sir. A question on, tight ends are always, Tim May, who's on this call, always has a saying, tight ends in the college game are always open. How do you all view your role in the passing game? Obviously, your critical role is to block and dominate and help the run game be what it is at Ohio State. How much confidence do you feel that your group, with the depth and opportunities you have there and experience, can factor into the passing game at an even higher level than you have before?
Yeah, we're all big guys, and we past year or so have been really working on just refining our route running, working on leverage, just little techniques to be getting open. Like you said, the tight end is always open just because they're a bigger body. You can throw the shot on the body, and you can get those big guys in space and be able to throw them the ball because they have the huge wingspan, all those things. So this past year, all of us have been working really hard and just refining our route running and just getting open.
Next up, I'm sorry, who just asked that? Oh, Jared did. Next up, I'm sorry, Jeremy Birmingham with Letterman Row and Austin Ward on deck. Jeremy?
Jake, I was hoping you could talk a little bit about the decisions over the last couple of years to stay in the program when you had opportunities to go elsewhere. Maybe the career hasn't gone like you wanted it to entirely to this point, but you're sticking things out. You've stuck through it. How have you kind of gotten through these last few years to get to the position now where you're more in a leadership role and being a guy that people turn to and can count on?
Well, I knew this was the place that was going to develop me the most. That's why I chose this place from the beginning in high school. I know coming in, all these coaches are going to do all they can to develop me. And, sometimes it takes guys longer to get on that track, but I'm glad I have within the past year or two gotten to this role that I'm in now. I'm in leadership role. I know I'm playing good ball right now, so I'm happy with sticking around.
Was that decision, was it more about you and needing to, make some mental adjustments or make some maturity adjustments? Who knows, whatever it was, like what got you there?
Yeah, I think I started about 2 years ago in camp. I just kind of told myself, take the meetings to the field and just be confident in everything you're doing. It was, like you said, I think a lot of it was just a mental check. You're in the right place. You can do this. You have all the skills and all the tools to do it. It's just a matter of putting everything together.
Appreciate it. Thanks, man.
Yeah. I'm going to stop faking you guys out here short. Next up, Joey Kaufman with the Columbus Dispatch and Austin Ward on deck. Joey?
Just wanted to ask, Jake, what have you seen as far as Justin Fields' leadership this offseason?
He's been helping us personally, the tight ends, a lot, just with routes. Like the other day, we were practicing this route with them, and he literally will run the route himself to show us how he wants it run. He's a really hands-on guy, and he's vocal about it. He's given us all these coaching points about, what angle we want to break it off at and how we're supposed to be coming out of it. So he's, I think, in the past 6 months, just been really vocal leader, getting all the guys to just follow his lead.
Is that much different than when he arrived last year?
Yeah. I think anyone who's coming in who's fresh and new, they don't, want to assume that role right away. He's always been a natural leader, but I think within the past 6 months or so, he's been a lot more vocal, and guys have been, following his lead.
Next up, Austin Ward with Letterman Row and Bill Rabinowitz on deck. Austin?
Hey, Jake, for you and the veterans, what have you noticed from Cade Stover as he's made this transition? Now it's been 9 months, but it hasn't been maybe as, the mini practices that he envisioned. How's that move over to your side going?
He's doing great. He's a super athletic guy. He can go up and get the ball. Obviously, it's hard switching positions, but I think he's been doing a really good job. Obviously, it's not going to be perfect, but he's as athletic as any tight end can be. He's as physical and strong as you need him to be. He's a really good on the point of attack. He can go up and get the ball. He's a fast guy, so I think he's been doing a great job so far.
Next up, Bill Rabinowitz with the Columbus Dispatch and Nathan Baird on deck. Bill?
Hi, Jake. You can't hear me, right?
Yep.
Okay, good. You've been here a while, and every offense you've been a part of has been pretty explosive. How good is this offense potentially? Is this the best offense you think you can have since you've been here?
It has potential to be. I think so. We have all the weapons we need to be putting up crazy numbers and winning games by as much as we want to. I mean, we have all the receivers, we have all the tight ends, we have the running backs, the quarterbacks, the O-line. I mean, we have everyone on offense to do it. And it's not just the talent. I mean, it's the character of all these guys. Everyone, I mean, you see the guys that opted out in the beginning and came back. I mean, it's a brotherhood, and everyone wants to be at the top of their game. And it's been awesome to see everyone kind of come together.
And what have you seen so far from Trey Sermon? And just how much has the fact that you haven't been able to practice like normal because of the pandemic affected you guys? How much has that been something you've had to overcome?
Trey's been great. He's a practice player. I mean, he goes hard in practice. You know, I don't think he really skipped a beat when he came over here. He knew how to go hard from the jump, and I think he's been a good leader in that aspect, just showing it by example. And what was your second question? I'm sorry.
Just how the pandemic and the limitations caused by the pandemic on practice has affected you guys. What have you had to do to kind of overcome that?
From the beginning, we just did Zooms, which is a little bit of an adjustment. But when we got back in the building, not much was different in an aspect of, you know, how hard we went and things like that. I mean, practice has obviously been different without being able to hit. But I mean, I think we've been doing a good job of being pros and taking care of each other, and you know, just work on things that we can without putting on pads. So I think we've had a ton of practices so far. So I think it's been good for us.
Thanks, Jake.
Yep.
Got time for two more individuals to ask questions for Jake. Next up, Nathan Baird with Cleveland.com and Bill Landis on deck. Nathan?
Jake, I had another running game question because I know you guys are involved in that. But going back to the start of spring practice, you know, Master gets hurt, Trey's not there yet. I assume you guys probably had some questions about how exactly that would unfold. And now that you see what your roster is, I guess, what's your vision of what this team is going to be like as a rushing attack this year compared to what you had last year where you're really relying so heavily on JK?
With the guys that we have now, I really don't think we're going to skip a beat. Like I said earlier, and we have the O-line to do it. We have the running backs to do it. We have 2 or 3 really talented running backs back there that can, you know, share the role. They can split the load. And we have a veteran O-line that just loves mauling people. I mean, it's awesome seeing them work. Like you said, JK was a great running back last year, but I mean, I really don't think we're going to skip a beat. It's going to be fun to watch these two guys.
Next up, Bill Landis with The Athletic, and Dan Hope will be on deck first for Jeremy Rucker. Bill?
Hey, Jake, is Justin a good route runner?
Yeah, I mean, you see him run. He's an athlete. He can do it all.
So are there going to be special packages where maybe he lines up at tight end, like maybe like a little Philly special kind of deal where you can throw the ball to him?
That'd be great. Get me back in the backfield. Maybe me and Ruck back in shotgun, throwing the ball. It'd be fun. Nah, but Justin's been, like I said earlier, he's been great. I mean, showing us all the things he really wants us to be running. And that's good for us too, because we know exactly what he needs and what he wants. So, like, I mean, everything can be as smooth as it can be.
Thanks.
Yep.
Great. Jake, thank you so much for your time. Have a good practice this afternoon and a nice weekend. Thanks so much.
Thanks, guys.